What's up, guys? Hayes here, and I finally think I have enough playtime in Diablo for a Vessel of Hatred to give you guys my final thoughts, my final review. We're going to be going over everything that I experienced, everything that I played. Going to be touching on the new class, Spiritborn. I know a lot of these points have probably already been brought up by other reviewers, but if you followed my channel for a while, you know that I don't like to give a review unless I have put a decent amount of time into the game. And I mean, I might do like a first impressions video here and there of games that I've just started playing, but I don't like to give my final thoughts until I've experienced the game to what I think is the fullest, and I think I'm there. I'm gonna jump in here, gonna run over some things, and just talk to you guys about what I think of Vessel of Hatred. Alright. So, first and foremost, I want to talk about the Spiritborn class. So, I honestly came into Vessel of Hatred kind of wanting to hate the Spiritborn, and honestly, I kind of fell, I wouldn't say in love with the class, but it's a very enjoyable class to play. I ended up playing kind of like a Centipede homebrew build, got me through Torment 2, and then when I started trying to push Torment 3 up into Torment 4, I went and did a meta build, so I'm doing the Touch of Death build, which is very powerful, a very fun build, but also frustrating build because you're essentially damaging yourself when you have cooldowns active with this chest armor. But once you get kind of the synergy down, it's a very fun build and very rewarding build to definitely try out and play. Finally got my Harlequin Crest last night. I randomly salvaged a few and then got a Mythic Unique cash from the blacksmith, and I was like, come on, Harlequin Crest, come on. And what do you know, it actually dropped. It never happens. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, had a lot of fun with the Spiritborn class. When I initially saw this class, I thought it was going to be some sort of like monk, witch doctor hybrid. I still kind of feel that way. It has a lot of like pestilent skills with the Touch of Death, Scourge, the other one that gives you thorns, I can't remember what that one's called, as well as like Vortex gives me really big monk vibes. Even Touch of Death, the way that that works when you're hitting the enemies, gives me monk vibes. Very, very fun class to play. I thought they did a great job with this, but like I said, I did initially come into this expansion wanting to hate it. That it didn't end up happening, which I'm glad. And the reason I guess, Vessel of Hatred, I guess I had a lot of mixed feelings about, because I really wanted two classes for the expansion. So Spiritborn's fine, you know, whatever. But give us like a paladin or like a priest or a holy warrior, or even, no, I don't know, something else that was very popular in the series. Because, I mean, I feel like there was enough content for me to justify spending the $40, but I have a friend that does not want to spend the $40 because he doesn't feel like there's enough content. I don't blame him. I personally think the area is big enough. I think there's enough content to warrant the $40, and some of you will probably disagree with me. We're going to kind of move on to the new zone here, the new area. So as you can see, I have completed everything you can do here. Waypoint, strongholds, side quests. It says I have 43 out of 44, but yet I have the achievement for it. I don't know if that's a bug, or maybe I don't have a side quest. I thought I had the achievement for it. But I have completed pretty much everything. Guess I'm missing a side quest. That's very odd to me. Side quests were okay. I felt like there were a few that had decent rewards, like some of the chain quests had some decent rewards. Strongholds I really liked. I thought the strongholds were very well done, a lot more interesting than some of the original strongholds in the original game. Some of the original strongholds felt a little bland, but you're going to kind of get that because they were trying to make so many of them out of the gate, whereas these three were more, you had, you know, however many months to work on these strongholds. Side dungeons were okay, nothing crazy to home write about. They serve their purpose. They're nightmare dungeons, whatever. The areas discovered, just whatever, just locations that you go to and discover. The tenets of Akarat were very buggy. Those things were buggy as shit. I don't know if they've fixed that since I ran around and collected those. You did like the rewards that you got for those, and so instead of giving you like Paragon points or skill points, they gave you, I believe, like cosmetics and maybe some items. It's been a while since I've completed that, but I couldn't believe how buggy those were for as much, like, I guess, work as they put into kind of figuring out the puzzles for each one. And maybe they weren't really that complicated. Maybe they were just so buggy that they felt like they were complicated to me. I would literally have to teleport away from the tenants and then back to them to see if that helped and fixed them to be unbugged. It was just so bizarre and random. Nahatu in general, I think, is a pretty good area. I think it's very well done. It looks good. You have different areas. It's not all just like jungle. You have some different areas here and there throughout the zone. What else to touch on? The mercenaries, I think they did a very good job with the mercenaries. I like how there's one mercenary that follows you around, and there's another mercenary that is activated by a certain skill that you're using. So I activate Earthbreaker when I use Scourge, and then the other guy has a set of abilities you can go through and select. Mercenaries are good. I feel like they could have done slightly more with these. Maybe allow us to equip them with armor and things like that. That would be kind of cool. But overall, pretty good. The raids, I just did my very first raids the other day at even being at Paragon 241. I just never really kind of messed around with them. Thought the raids were okay. I feel like they still need some work. I know some people like them more than others, and some people absolutely hate them. At least that's what I've heard. I think they're okay. It's something to do if you have a party or a group of buddies that you want to run around with and kill some bosses and try to get some loot. So I think the raids are pretty good. But I don't know. I felt like there was something missing, and I can't really put my finger on it. If I end up playing and running some more raids, maybe I'll kind of figure out what I think is missing. But they're okay. They were fun, I guess, for what they were. Alright, what else we got here? I can't remember if they changed this last season or if this was new to the expansion, but how the summoning materials, you don't need as many to summon the bosses now. I like that change. Very helpful. Makes the process of farming the endgame bosses a lot easier, a lot more streamlined. I think that was a great change. I think the change to the gems was also a good change. It kind of reminds me of how they worked in Diablo 3 a little bit more. They also added some consumables as far as things like Scroll of Restoration to restore all the tempering charges on an item. I think the Seething Opal mechanic was a good idea to buff the chance to get extra materials and items that you will need throughout your journey. I think this is cool as well. Restore 30% health, drop health potions for nearby players. There's another one here. Use while in a dungeon to summon a treasure goblin from another realm. Just some pretty cool items you can get. Use to summon an anvil that can be used by 4 players to repair their gear. Also very cool. So I feel like they're implementing a few things to try to drive the community to interact more with each other, which is good. The rune system is okay. I still think Diablo 2 has the best rune system. I think that if they would have maybe done something other than calling them runes and still had them work in synergies, that might have been a better strategy, because people see rune words and they think of Diablo 2 rune words, and then when you don't give them Diablo 2 rune words, they're upset about it. I think the rune words are okay. It's not my preferred or ideal way of rune words, but I think it gives the classes and builds some flavor. So that's always good for the game. Although, I mean, sometimes obviously these runes break the game, synergized with other things, but that's just the risk you take when you introduce things like this. What else? The season mechanic, the Realm Walker is okay. I don't really think the season was their biggest concern. Obviously, wasn't the season theme of the Realm Walker, the Zakarum, a Remnants Quartermaster. I didn't really care for Realm Walker event a whole lot. I felt like it took a little too long to get into the portal. I liked the time I spent when I was in the actual realm world in the portal, jumping around to different portals to different rooms to get different materials to craft or different items and things like that. That was cool. But the whole event in itself just wasn't for me. I feel like the change to the pit was good. I just feel like the pit is a lot more rewarding now with experience, items, leveling up your glyphs. The pit was probably one of my favorite modes, and before I didn't really care for the pit. Something new that they brought was the what is that place called? Oh, the Karas Bazaar, the Undercity event. That Undercity event was okay. Again, not my favorite. At times I didn't feel like the rewards were as good, and I know you can use like tributes and buffs to buff your rewards. I spent like 100 million gold. I think there are 150 million or something with tributes and buffed with the gold. And on top of the gold, I think there were some items as well. And I didn't really get anything, unfortunately, with those buffs. I mean, nothing that I can remember that was very substantial for the amount of materials and gold that I put into the Undercity run. Just not really my thing. Nightmare Dungeons I think are good. I had a lot of fun running Nightmare Dungeons, especially during the Halloween event. I ran a ton of those dungeons during the Halloween event because you had a higher chance for goblins and the Burning Butcher. So I thought that was good. Even before that, I thought the Nightmare Dungeons were okay. There's quick dungeons you can run if you want to like get a quick dungeon run in or something before dinner or whatever. So Nightmare Dungeons I thought were good. While we're speaking about the Halloween event, though, the Halloween event I think kind of fell flat on its face. I feel like you could have done so much more. I mean, dress the whole world up like you do for World of Warcraft. Dress it up like a Halloween. Put pumpkins and skeletons and things just everywhere. Make like stupid little events you can go do, like bobbing for apples, like all that little gimmicky stuff. Give us chances to get Halloween exclusive mounts, so it rewards you even more for logging in. Yeah, of course we appreciate the 35% experience that we get during that event, because that boosts our character at a higher rate. Speaking of getting your character to max Paragon, man, I feel like I am just sludging through molasses now that I'm past 200. It's almost brutal trying to get more levels. I don't know if they can somehow crunch the experience a little bit, but it is just sometimes brutal. And I'm not one to like look for some cheesy way to get experience. I'm sure maybe there is a way to do that still. I know there was at one point. But yeah, I got kind of off track there. So yeah, the Halloween event, not the best, in my opinion. Had a good time still with it, but I think they could have just done quite a bit more with it. What else do we got? What have I not touched on? Oh yeah, one gripe that I have here. The buffs, man. Why can we not make the elixirs last for an hour? Just make these last for an hour, make these last for an hour. And why do these last for 20 minutes and these last for 30 or these last for, yeah, these last for 30 minutes. Make the if these last for 30, at least make these last for 30. Or even better, you know what? Make them all last for an hour. Easy peasy, done. Nobody wants a 20-minute buff paired with a 30-minute buff. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. So that's kind of my gripe, that, and obviously the buggy, whatever. Akaratinets, couldn't think of their name. Yeah, so I mean, overall, I've had a good time playing the expansion. I myself think the expansion is worth the $40, but I've also put a shit ton of time into this game. I'm Paragon 241. I've done all the stuff in the new area, except supposedly one side quest. Got pretty good items, you know. So I'm probably done with the expansion in this season. I'm probably going to put this on the shelf, move on to Trials of Mana, and try to finish that game and then get that review out. And then after that, I don't know what I'm going to move on to. We'll have to kind of see what I'm feeling like after I beat Trials. But if you have played Vessel of Hatred, let me know what you think of everything down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the story, the campaign. Let me know what you think about kind of the end game. I still think the end game is very grindy and honestly gets very boring. Because like right now, it's like, what am I working towards? Yeah, I'm working towards getting more levels, sure, and my power creep goes up very minimal. I can work on getting some like high-end items. Power creep kind of would probably go very minimal. Yeah, I mean, I like working towards leveling my glyphs, which I have. I like working towards getting the items I need, leveling my items up. But once I get to where I'm just needing experience, essentially, that's where I kind of lose interest. That's all I got. Please like, please subscribe. Have a good day or night, wherever you're at in the world. Much love, and we will see you on the next one.